would recommend that we stay with them. So if you agree, we would approve, you would approve this in the next board meeting after this one.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay.
No, it all sounds good to me.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so at this time, are we finished with property and extension?
We can close the meeting, yes, we can
Okay,
adjourn.
we'll close the property and extension committee meeting at 12:14 on the 29th.
Okay, so we're ready to move into the regular board meeting, right, Paige?
Correct.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 12:14. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Morton?
Yes.
Mrs.
Here.
Teeman?
All right.
Here.
Mr. Clay? Mr. Sammons? Ms. Fresh?
Here.
Mr. Schisler? Dr. Kemp?
Here.
Okay, the first item is the approval of the minutes from the Property and Extension Committee meeting and our June board meeting on June 16th, and then our special board meeting on August the 18th. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
And Tammy will second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The next is the approval of the financial report for June, July, and August. If I could get a motion for that.
Tammy, I'll move that we approve that.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Morton?
Yes.
Mrs. Teeman?
Yes.
Ms. Fresh?
Yes.
Dr. Kemp?
Yes.
The next item is a motion, I need a motion to pay the bills for June, July, and August in the amounts listed, which includes payroll.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Morton?
Yes.
Mrs. Teeman?
Yes.
Ms. Fresh?
Yes.
Dr. Kemp?
Yes.
Okay, the next section is budget audit and expenditure. Paige, who else is on that committee?
All
That
right,
one?
that is Tammy.
Okay, Tammy, you're up.
All right.
Do you have that in front of you,
I've got the agenda in front of me.
yeah, perfect.
Let's see. So I'm going to move, I move that we approve the creation of the following special revenue fund, the Coronavirus Relief Fund 202.
Dylan, do you need to say anything about that, or?
That's just basically the fund we're going to use to track the $125,000 grant that we got from the CARES Act. We did receive that money in the bank last week, and then once later this week or early next week is when we're going to sit down and go through all of the previously made expenditures, reimburse ourselves for what we've already paid out in additional PPE. And then the supervisors meeting, we're going to sit down and discuss what additional items we can purchase. Hopefully, we're going to spend as much of the money as we can.
Can you explain that a little bit, Dylan? Like what you can use it for?
Yes, it's kind of it's specifically vague, if you will. So there is a list of what we can spend it for. So basically, we can spend the money on anything that has changed our operations related to the coronavirus that would exceed what we would have previously budgeted for. So we can't reimburse ourselves for every trash bag or every paper towel or every sanitizing spray that we've purchased, but we can reimburse ourselves and then continue to purchase additional items that would exceed what we would normally have paid. Then we can also use it to reimburse ourselves for workers' comp cost. There's a list that I could send you guys of what we can and cannot use it for, if you'd like.
What about, you can't use it for payroll purposes then?
We can, well, yes
Or
and no.
you can allocate time based on that you spent this amount of time working on,
You can use
You
it
know,
for payroll
certain projects.
purposes, but it's very specific on what you can use it for.
I
So
gotcha.
it would have to, coronavirus would have had to drastically alter your position within the company to then use this money to reimburse for payroll costs.
Okay. I was just curious, thank
Yeah.
you. So I have a motion from Tammy, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Morton?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Ms. Brush?
Yes.
Dr. Pimp?
Yes.
Okay, and Kara, my next motion is going to be to approve the appropriation of $125,000 in inappropriated funds to the following coronavirus fund accounts. And it would be a workers' compensation account at $5,000, other supplies at $50,000, janitorial supplies at $60,000, and technology at $10,000, totaling the $125,000.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
second.
And I think Ruth Ann beat you just barely.
Sorry.
That's fine.
It's hard when we're not together. All right. Any other discussion on that? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Morton?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Ms. Brush?
Yes.
Dr. Pimp?
Yes.
And I also would like to make motion to approve the following transfer due to the increase in healthcare costs. We're transferring from furniture and equipment of $45,000 to employee share, again at $45,000.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Morton?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Ms. Brush?
Yes.
Dr. Pimp?
Yes.
Okay, looks like, now this one may be a little bulky. The 2020 estimated revenue and expenditures amendment. I make motion that we approve the updated revenue and expense budget for 2020. Reduction in revenue to account for loss of anticipated interest on our investment, as well as less fines and fees receipted due to the closure from COVID-19. Let's see, is there more to that in? I had to increase our revenue, is this from you, Dylan?
Yeah.
As we received more property taxes than initially estimated, that's good. This update also includes the above-mentioned transfer and supplemental appropriations in CRS 202. That's the Coronavirus Relief Fund.
Correct.
Yeah, so this is basically just taking the budget that we had approved, right, Dylan?
Yeah, so this is just amending the current budget, and then that way it's easier for me to send it to the county auditor all in one, one completed updated budget than just to send multiple, transfers and appropriations additionally.
So
Plus,
just
we had to add
made a
the
few-
corona
made a
relief
few-
in there and
Made a
everything.
few tweaks to what we had already done, and Tammy covered those when she made the motion.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do I have a second for that?
I'll second.
And in our packet was it had it, I believe, to the red, right, Dylan, over on the side, like the changes?
Yes, it noted
Yeah.
what was different from the previously amended budget from when we,
Right.
at the last meeting, we approved the additional appropriations for the Wi-Fi grant. So that, and then this is what has changed since that last budget amendment.
Okay. So I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Morton?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Ms. Brush?
Yes.
Dr. Kemp?
Yes.
Okay. Property and extension, Ruth Ann.
Okay, what do we have on that? I'm sorry, I'm not looking at an agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry. The first is just informational about the South Webster, the stonework. Do you want me to just let Paige do that?
Yes, because unfortunately I can't get on the computer, so I apologize.
No, you're
return
fine.
it.
It's just the two things we talked about in the property and extension meeting, but we'll let Paige talk about that real quick.
Thank you.
This is just the official notice for the board minutes that we did send out. The board did send out a letter to SEI requesting them to resolve the issue with the South Webster building stonework. They did receive it yesterday, and we have had no contact from them at this point. I believe we will have more information for the October meeting.
Okay. And then the next item is Johnson's Control Maintenance Contract. So I just need someone to make a motion to approve that maintenance, the annual maintenance contract.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the annual maintenance contract with Johnson.
Miss Tammy, I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Morton?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Ms. Brush?
Yes.
Dr. Kemp?
Yes.
Okay, the next item is personnel.
You want me to handle that?
Yeah, if you want to. I was gonna spread it out, but go ahead, Tammy. No, go ahead. You're good. You're used to doing personnel.
Yeah. All right, I move that we ratify the hiring of Julia Huffman, full-time youth service associate, effective September 7th, 2020, at $11.64 an hour, replacing Ann Krebs, and Julie Simpson, transfer from full-time homebound clerk to full-time branch clerk, effective September 28th, 2020, at $10.75 an hour, replacing Jennifer Moore.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Morton?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Ms. Brush?
Yes.
Dr. Kemp?
Yes.
The next item is an in-service day. I'm assuming Paige will update us on that.
Yes, for as long as I've been here, on Columbus Day, we have always been closed, but we've had an in-service day for staff. Obviously, this year, there's no way we can get 60-some people together in one area and do an in-service. So I'm for a couple of reasons. I'm requesting that we change this over to just for this year, a paid holiday. People expect us to be closed, plus we are getting an update to our circulation system. So since all of the other libraries in our consortium are going to be closed, they chose that day to run the update, which means we will have no computers, no computer access to our system, which you're kind of like dead in the water. So what I was asking for the board to consider on October 12th, Columbus Day, be a paid holiday. And this is a little unusual. With full-time staff for 8 hours, now part-time staff used to get paid for the entire day when we would do in-service. But I'm suggesting, since we aren't going to be here, that we allow just for this one holiday, part-time staff to be paid for a half day, 4 hours. We only have 5 part-time staff.
this is Tammy, and I'm in agreement with that, and I move that that's what we do.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Morton?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Ms. Fresh?
Yes.
Dr. Kemp?
Yes.
Okay, the next item is the pandemic crisis policy revision, which was in our packet. It just had to tweak the, Paige, do you want to talk about that? Like the,
Yes, this is, well, the policy, so this would be, Charles, and because Dick and Ralph aren't here. Basically, we passed this pandemic policy based on Department of Labor rules back in May. Since then, there have been a lot of clarifications, and one of the clarifications is noting that during our pay during leave, the sick leave that families take, or the other leave that they can take due to their children being out of school or having to care for someone, we need to remove the requirement that employees must first use all of their accrued time to be eligible for that leave. So that is just a cleanup clarification from the Department of Labor.
okay, Dr. Kemp, do you want to make that, since you're on that committee?
Sure.
Perfect. Do I have a second? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Nope, you're good.
Tammy will second.
Okay. Can I do all in favor on that page?
Probably not, because it will
Deals with
involve payroll
compensation.
and yes.
I gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, sick time, yeah. Okay, call the roll, please.
Mrs. Morton?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Ms. Fresh?
Yes.
Dr. Kemp?
Yes.
Okay, Paige, you're up.
Okay, I think the last thing we've got is, we still have a lot of people who are afraid to come out in public or whatever, and so I was going to ask the board if we can go ahead, if you would consider approving, continuing fine-free for patrons through December 31st of this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
I think it makes sense too.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Sure. I'll second.
Okay. Dr. Kemp motion, Tammy second. Can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Morton?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Ms. Fresh?
Yes.
Dr. Kemp?
Yes.
Do you have anything else, Paige?
I do not.
Okay. I just need a motion to excuse our absent board members.
So moved.
So, go ahead. I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I think, is there any public comment, Paige?
There has not been any public comment.
No,
Okay.
no public comment.
Well, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
All right.
Righty.